China Current is a weekly news talk show from China to the world. We cover viral news about China every week and also give you the newest updates on China's cutting-edge technologies. Let's get started.
Welcome to China Currents, your weekly news report on what's happening in China. Today, Lisa is still enjoying her holiday, so I will host this episode for you. I'm Derek. In this episode, China has issued a security review for Intel. A new Chinese electric car launched in Australia. Chinese-funded giant port expected to start trial operation in Peru next month. Chinese scientists have successfully revived a deceased brain. First, let's see how the Intel will be affected by China's security review. On the 16th of this month, the Cybersecurity Association of China officially issued an article exposing Intel's practice of embedding hardware backdoors in its CPUs, purportedly to enable U.S. intelligence agencies to remotely monitor consumers. The association has called for Intel to undergo a security review which could significantly impact its operation in China, an essential market that accounts for a quarter of Intel's global sales. This scrutiny could make Intel lose $12.5 billion annually. To understand the implications of a security review for Intel, it's crucial to grasp two key pieces of background information. First, who is the Cybersecurity Association of China? This organization is a national industrial body under the Cyberspace Administration of China, functioning similarly to the Federal Communications Commission in the United States. The association includes more than 600 major internet-related and cybersecurity companies in the country, along with hundreds of experts in the security field. Consequently, a request for a security review by this organization is likely to be initiated. Second, what are the consequences of being revived in China? The most recent company to face scrutiny was Micron Technology, which failed a scrutiny revive and subsequently vanished from the procurement lists of all Chinese government agencies, state-owned enterprises, and public universities. Micron was once a leading player in the memory chip market, holding a global market share of 24% in DRAM and 11% in NAND flash as of 2023. While its dominance in memory chips is significant, however, in the face of China's memory chip industry, which is just beginning to develop, it has not chosen to believe in the quality of its own products. Instead, it lobbied the US government to leverage its long-arm jurisdiction for sanctions. In 2017, as Fujian Jinhua's first wafer fab was under construction, Micron urged the US Department of Commerce to place Fujian Jinhua on the Entity List, a trade restriction list published by the US government. In 2020, after Hefei Changxin and YMTC achieved technological breakthroughs in flash memory, Micron once again lobbied the US government, leading to sanctions against these two companies. Since 2018, Micron has submitted 117 lobbying requests to the US government, with approximately 67% related to China. To put it bluntly, this is like both having to run to an elementary school and cripple all the kids in order to maintain his Olympic gold medal. In response, China conducted a review of Micron's products in 2023 and announced in late May that the company had failed to pass. Consequently, China ceased purchasing Micron products for all its network infrastructure and office equipment. Although Micron attempted to use financial strategies to stabilize its stocks in the wake following the sanctions, its stock price plummeted throughout June 2023, falling from $73 to $16 per share, a decline of about 18%, resulting in a market value loss of about $40 billion. It now seems almost inevitable that Intel will follow in Micron's footsteps, as China has flagged risks associated with Intel CPUs for all consumers. Since 2008, Intel has embedded a subsystem called the Management Engine in almost all of its own chipsets, equivalent to the CPU that comes with a simple operating system. This subsystem allows it to operate independently of the installed operating system as long as the motherboard is powered. When connected to a network, it can send and receive data packets. According to Intel's official document, the management engine is an embedded microcontroller running a lightweight microkernel operating system that provides a variety of features and services for Intel processor-based computer systems. At system initialization, the Intel management engine loads its code from system flash memory. This allows the management engine to be up before the main operating system is started. Since its release, Intel's management engine has faced significant skepticism. Many question the necessity of a CPU performing tasks typically reserved for an operating system. Additionally, the management engine is a closed-source black box, leaving users in the dark about its potential capabilities. Only Intel knows its limits, and the company's assurances of the subsystem's security rely solely on its unilateral commitment. This raises concerns about accountability, as Intel acts both as the athlete and the referee in this scenario. Who can guarantee impartiality? Secondly, there is no official shutdown switch for the management engine. As long as it is powered, it will remain operational. Intel has not provided a clear description of the technology or functions within the management engine, and its roles and risks are being gradually uncovered by researchers worldwide. Within the management engine lies a feature known as active management technology, designed for device administrators to remotely access computers for various systems fixes. According to a 2008 official Intel document, AMT can identify computer assets on a network and access them even when the computer is turned off. That means as long as your computer is plugged in, they all have access. Although this document asserts that the AMT system cannot be shut down, a Russian cybersecurity firm called Positive Technology discovered in 2017 that the firmware of the management engine contains a switch capable of disabling it. Notably, the comments associated with this switch clearly state High Assurance Platform. High Assurance Platform is a program of the U.S. National Security Agency, aims to provide the U.S. government and military departments with a highly secure computing and communications environment. This implies that while Intel possesses the capability to ensure the security of all users, its protections are only directed toward U.S. government and military customers. But now, many of you may already understand why China is initiating a security review of Intel. However, the question remains, why is China only starting this review now, after 16 years of known security risks? This situation can be attributed to three key factors. First, Chinese officials and the military have long relied on domestically produced CPUs, particularly from a manufacturer called Shenwei, which has safeguarded China's most sensitive information. However, due to limitations in production capacity and the need for secrecy, Shenwei's products have not been widely promoted in the market. Second, on September 2, China's KrF and ArF lithography machines have both achieved technological breakthroughs and are ready for market promotion. Among them, the more advanced ArF lithography can achieve less than 65 nanometer resolution, reaching a less than 8 nanometer nesting accuracy. Third, on October 15, China's Longxin Zhongke Technology officially announced that its desktop CPU 3B6600. It will be released for sale in the second half of the next year. It utilizes a domestically designed instruction set, eliminating the need to rely on any foreign licensed technologies. Its overall performance is comparable to Intel's 10th generation core processors launched in 2020. In other words, if you are just using it for office work, it can fully meet your needs. In the past, sanctions against Intel's CPUs might not have severely impacted the government and military operations, but they could have left the general public in a difficult position. However, since October 2024, China now has the confidence to say no to Intel. The Cyberspace Security Association of China noted that Intel has been the biggest beneficiary of Biden's Chip and Science Act, received $8.5 billion in direct subsidies and $11 billion in low-interest loans. To curry favor with the US government, Intel has taken a stance against China on the Xinjiang issue. pressuring the suppliers to refrain from using any labor from the region and halting the procurement of products or services connected to it. At the same time, nearly a quarter of Intel's global annual revenue, which exceeds $15 billion, comes from the Chinese market, while it's clear that Intel has bite the hand that feeds you. In a few months, Intel's good days will likely to be coming to an end. While the US backfire itself, Australia is bucking the Western trend. On October 16, Chinese EV maker Zeekr has begun sales of its first model for Australia. Conno Yan, managing director of Zeekr Australia, added that they have already garnered more than 2,500 expressions of registered interest. According to the ABC, the Australian government has not followed the lead of the US. When asked whether Australia would consider introducing tariffs, the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade said its decisions were made in Australia's national interest. A spokesperson from the FCAI said that Chinese-made vehicles had enhanced consumer choice, adding that the FCAI supported competition, including an increased presence of Chinese-produced vehicles that will ultimately benefit Australian consumers. Data shows that of the 86,000 EVs sold in Australia last year, a striking 72,000 were made in China. In January of this year, BYD's monthly sales in Australia surpassed Tesla for the first time, hitting 1,310 units compared to Tesla's 1,107. China not only offered a more affordable choice for Australians, but also played a significant role in Australia's green transition. In June, the Chinese energy company Pacific Blue started the construction of a 16-megawatt battery energy storage system in South Australia, with a total investment of $67.3 million. Meantime, the company has begun developing the 500-megawatt solar farm in Queensland. The Australian non-profit organization Climate Energy Finance said in a report on October 2 that China leads the world in clean tech, with its investment more than double those of the US or the EU. Of course, China's investment in the South Hemisphere will not be limited to Australia. According to a report by Reuters on October 19, Peru's Chancay port, which is backed and developed by China's COSCO shipping group, will hold its inauguration in mid-November and ship 2 container ships late next month. After its operation, the port is expected to become a major shipping hub for South America-Asia trade. Located 15 miles north of Peru's capital Lima, the port has a total investment of nearly $3.6 billion, with $1.2 billion located for its first phase. Carlos Tejada, general manager of COSCO's local subsidiary, COSCO Shipping Chancay Peru, said that the port will initially cover the direct route to Shanghai, and the cargo from Colombia, Ecuador, and Chile will be shipped to Asia from Chancay, in ships carrying up to 40,000 containers, which will then be gradually increased to larger vessels holding up to 24,000 containers. According to Xinhua News Agency, the construction of the Chancay port began in 2021 and includes 4 berths at first. With a maximum water depth of 70.8 meters, the port is capable of docking ships carrying up to 18,000 containers for the first in this area. In the future, it is expected to handle 1 million containers per year and ultimately reach 1.5 million containers annually. U.S. shipping magazine Maritime Executive said that the port will reduce the time of a maritime trade between Peru and China from 35 to 23 days, representing a reduction in transportation costs of 30%. This cost reduction will be used by countries like Brazil, Uruguay, Paraguay, and Bolivia to import and export their products. After its operation, the products from these countries can be shipped directly to China, instead of using smaller ships, which currently must go first to California. In the meantime, the project also draws special attention from countries like the US. According to the Wall Street Journal in June of this year, the US has discussed the concerns with the Peru's officials, highlighting that the port can have military use for China. However, Peru's foreign minister said if the US is concerned about China's growing presence in Peru, then it should step up its own investments, adding that everyone is welcome to invest in Peru. Well, the good news is that if someone of the Pentagon officials have brain damage, they can turn to Chinese doctors for help. In an article published in EMBO Molecular Medicine on October 14, Chinese experts successfully revived the brain of a pig that had been dead for 15 minutes. The research led by He Xiaoshun, director of the Organ Transplant Center at the first affiliated hospital, Sun Yat-sen University, along with the German professor Bjorn Nashang and the British Dr. Andrew Schlago, indicates that the liver plays a key role in the repair mechanism or brain injury following cardiac arrest. The research is under the backdrop that cardiac arrest often results in severe brain damage, a leading cause of death. Previous studies suggested that the brain can only maintain its functions for 5 to 8 minutes, making survival rates for cardiac arrest extremely low. In this experiment, the researchers stopped the pig's heart and then separated its brain from its body. 15 minutes later, they successfully sustained the brain's function and vitality. These findings offer a new strategy for saving lives from cardiac arrest, potentially improving survival rates for such patients in the future. That's all for today. Thank you for watching this episode of China Currents. If you have any thoughts or comments, please reach us at the email address below. We look forward to hearing from you. See you next time.